You're the main character in your own financial story. Every day, you write down a new page. But let's be honest for a moment. Right now, does it feel like the villain of your story is a monster named Debt? And do they have you written into a corner? Does it feel like you're surrounded? The walls are closing in, plastered with overdue notices and statements glowing with high interest rates. You've got this constant nagging feeling that you're working so hard, but only falling further and further behind. The script you're living feels hopeless. But what if I told you this isn't the end of your story? What if this isn't even the climax? What if this is the chapter where the hero, where you discover the cheat codes, flip the script, and stage the most epic comeback imaginable? In this video, we're not just going to talk about debt. We are going to write your ultimate comeback story. We're going to arm you with the strategies, the mindset, and the battle plan to defeat every single type of debt for good. Forget what you think you know. Forget the shame and the stress. Your comeback story starts now. Does your wallet feel a little too thin? Does the end of the month arrive with a sense of dread instead of accomplishment? You're not alone in this fight. Not by a long shot. Total household income in the United States has exploded to a record-breaking $18.59 trillion. Now, before you panic, the biggest chunk of that is mortgage debt. But when you look at the average American carrying a total of around $104,000 in debt, including mortgages, auto loans, and everything else, it's clear this isn't just a personal problem. It's a national crisis. But today, we're making it personal. We're going to take those overwhelming statistics and break them down into a villain you can understand. And more importantly, a villain you can defeat. Every great story starts by understanding the antagonist. You can't defeat a monster you don't know. So before we learn the cheat codes, we need to do some recon. We've got to unmask this villain called Debt and understand its power, its tactics, and its psychological warfare. First off, let's acknowledge the emotional toll. The financial world loves to talk about numbers. Interest rates, balances, the whole nine. But they often forget that debt is a feeling. It's that knot in your stomach when you check your bank account. It's that sleepless night spent staring at the ceiling, your mind racing with numbers and what ifs. It's the shame that makes you avoid hanging out with your friends because you can't afford it. It's the guilt of buying something small for yourself. It's the constraint, low-grade anxiety that follows you around like a shadow, whispering that you're not good enough, that you failed. These feelings, they're the villain's primary weapon. They're designed to keep you paralyzed, to make you believe that the fight is too big and you are too small. But it's all a lie. That's the part of the script that we're here to rewrite. Recognize this emotional warfare is the first step to taking back your power. As one financial expert put it, debt payoff is not a math problem. It's a feelings problem. We get stuck in shame and fear, but today, we turn that fear into fuel. Now let's get tactical. In our financial video game, debt isn't a single boss. It's an army with different types of enemies, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The two main categories are secured debt and unsecured debt. First, let's talk about the big one, the secured debt dragon. Secured debt is any debt that is tied to a specific asset, also known as collateral. Think of this like a giant, powerful dragons that are guarding something you own. The most common examples are your mortgage, where the dragon is guarding your house, and your auto loan, where it's guarding your car. Here's the deal with the secured debt dragon. Because the lender has your assets as a collateral, they face less risk. If you stop making payments, the lender can legally seize that asset. The dragon takes your castle, or your trusty steed. This is called repossession or foreclosure. Because the lender's risk is lower, they typically offer lower interest rates and higher borrowing limits. Sounds like a good deal. But the stakes are incredibly high. The risk to you is enormous. You could lose your home or your car. For this reason, the secured debt dragon is almost always your highest priority. You must keep this beast happy by making your payments on time every time. Will you prepare to fight the rest of the army? Next, we face the unsecured goblin horde. Unsecured debt is the opposite. It's not tied to any specific asset. This is an army of relentless, screeching goblins. We're talking about credit cards, personal loans, student loans, and medical bills. With these goblins, there's no collateral for the lender to take. They can't repossess the dinner you bought with your Visa. Because of this, the lender takes on all the risk. And they make up for it by hitting you with a brutal high interest rate attack. The average credit card interest rates are hitting an eye-watering 22 to 24%. Those attacks are vicious. If you fail to pay the goblin horde, they can't seize your assets directly, but they will overwhelm you in other ways. They will send the collection agencies after you, like bounty hunters harassing you day and night. They can sue you, which can lead to your wages being garnished. And maybe most damagingly, they will relentlessly attack your player stats, your credit score, making it nearly impossible to get a good loan, rent an apartment, or even get certain jobs. Well, they don't guard a single treasure. The sheer number and ferocity of the unsecured goblin horde can drain your resources and your will to fight. With these two armies, you'll also see different attack patterns. Installment debt and revolving debt. Installment debt is a fixed boss fight. You borrow a lump sum once and agree to pay it back in a fixed, predictable payment schedule. Think of your mortgage, your auto loan, or a personal loan. You know exactly how many payments you have to make to win. The attack pattern is predictable. Revolving debt, on the other hand, is like an infinite dungeon. This is your credit card or your line of credit. You have a credit limit, and you can borrow, repay, and borrow again, over and over again. The entrance to the dungeon is always open, which is where so many heroes get trapped. The high interest rates mean the enemies inside multiply quickly, and because you can always go back in for more, it's easy to get lost in a never-ending loop. So, to recap so far, you've identified the emotional warfare the villain uses, you've unmasked the two main armies, the high-stakes secured debt dragon and the relentless unsecured goblin horde, and you understand their primary attack patterns. Your recon is complete. Now it's time for your training montage. Welcome to the training grounds. This is where you sharpen your sword, learn new spells, and prepare for the final battle. These are the cheat codes that will transform you from a character cornered by debt to a hero on the path to victory. Cheat code number 1, the map to victory, aka the zero-based budget. You would never go into battle without a map. A budget is your map. I know, the word budget is about as appealing as a trip to the dentist. It sounds restrictive and boring. For years, we've been taught to see budgeting as a cage. But that's just the villain's propaganda. A budget isn't a restriction. It's a permission slip. It's a strategic plan that tells your money where to go instead of you wondering where it went. It's the single most powerful tool in your arsenal. Without it, you're fighting blind. We're going to use a specific type of map, the zero-based budget. The concept is simple. Income minus expenses equals 0. You list your total monthly income at the top, then you list every single expense you have, from your mortgage down to your morning coffee. Give every dollar a job before the month begins. This process is a revelation. It will show you, in stark black and white, whether your financial mana is being drained. You might find you're spending hundreds on subscriptions you don't use or lunches you don't even remember. That's not a reason to feel guilty. That's an opportunity. That's ammo you can now redirect from the villain's pockets into your own arsenal. This map shows you exactly where to gather resources for the fight ahead. Don't skip this step. Cheat code number 2. Choose your combat style, aka the payoff methods. With your map in hand, it's time to learn how to fight. There are 2 legendary combat styles for defeating debt, the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. There's a lot of debate about which is better, but the secret is this. The best one is the one you'll actually stick with. Combat style number 1, the debt snowball. This is the momentum builder. The debt snowball method is all about psychology and momentum. With this strategy, you ignore the interest rates. I repeat, pretend the interest rates do not exist. You list all of your debts except your mortgage, from the smallest balance to the largest. Here's the battle plan. Make the minimum monthly payment on every single debt, except for the smallest one. You take every extra dollar you found from your budget and you throw it at it, all at once. Attack the smallest debt with vengeance. Soon, that smallest debt will be gone, obliterated. And you get your first win. This is a powerful moment. You've proven to yourself that this is possible. But here's where the magic happens. You take the entire amount you were paying on that now dead debt, the minimum payment plus all the extra, and you roll that into the next payment for the smallest debt. Now you're attacking the second enemy with a much bigger weapon. When that one's gone, you take that combined payment and roll it into the third. See what's happening? Your payment amount grows, like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and faster with each victory. The power of the debt snowball isn't in math, it's in the motivation from quick wins that keep you in the fight. If you thrive on seeing progress, the debt snowball is your combat style. Combat style number 2. The debt avalanche. This one is the high damage attack. The debt avalanche is for the strategists, the mathematicians, the players who want the most efficient path to victory. With this strategy, you ignore the balances. You reorder your debts based on their interest rates, from highest APR to lowest. The battle plan is similar. Make the minimum payments on everything, except the one with the highest interest rates. You take all of your extra money and focus fire on that single target. That 24% interest credit card is your primary enemy. It's the goblin dealing the most damage every second. By targeting it first, you are strategically eliminating the villain's most powerful weapon. From a pure math perspective, the debt avalanche will always save the most money in interest and usually get you out of debt slightly faster. The downside? It can feel like a long, hard grind. If your highest interest debt is also a large one, you might be fighting that single boss for months without the satisfaction of crossing anything off your list. If you're a disciplined, numbers-driven person motivated by efficiency, the debt avalanche is your style. So, snowball or avalanche? The answer is personal. Need quick wins? Choose snowball. Obsessed with efficiency? Choose avalanche. Neither is wrong. The only wrong choice is not choosing at all. Cheat code number 3. Power-ups and buffs. These are the accelerators. Every hero needs a few power-ups. These are strategies to use alongside the main combat style to speed things up. Power-up number 1, the consolidation spell. This means combining multiple debts into a single new loan, ideally with a lower interest rate. Like a personal loan or a 0% balance transfer credit card. This spell doesn't vanquish any enemies, but it rearranges the battlefield to your advantage. It simplifies payments and reduces the interest you're paying, freeing up more ammo. But be warned, this is an advanced spell. A balance transfer is only a good idea if you have the discipline to destroy the original cards and pay off the balance before the 0% balance ends. Otherwise, you've just opened a new door into the infinite dungeon. Power-up number 2, the overdrive attack. This is the simplest, most effective power-up. Pay more than the minimum payment. The minimum payment is a trap. It's the slowest, most expensive path possible, designed to keep you paying for decades. Every single dollar you pay above the minimum is an overdrive attack that goes straight to the principal, the boss's main health bar. Next, let's increase your firepower. Let's talk about side quests for extra gold. While you're executing your main battle plan, take on some side quests to gather more resources. Side quest number 1, farm for more gold, increase your income. The fastest way to win is to increase your firepower. This could mean selling things around the house, taking on a few hours of freelance work, or finally negotiating that raise that you deserve. Every extra $100 is a powerful volley of arrows aimed right at your debts. Side quest number 2, conserve your resources. Cut your expenses. Go back to your map, your budget. Take a red pen and scrutinize every line. Are you paying for streaming services you haven't watched in months? Can you cut your dining out budget in half? This isn't about depriving yourself of joy. It's about being a ruthless general, strategically reallocating resources to the most important missions, your financial freedom. The ultimate side quest, forge your health potion. The starter emergency fund. This is so important. It's almost a main quest. Before you go all out, you need to complete this quest first. Save up $1,000, a starter emergency fund. Think of this as your one and only health potion. Life happens. The car will get a flat tire. The villain will launch a surprise attack. Without this potion, you'd have to reach for a credit card, inviting another goblin into the fight and undoing all your progress. This $1,000 buffer is your defense against the unexpected, allowing you to handle small emergencies with cash. Alright, now we're approaching the climax and the resolution to this story. The final battle and your victory. You've studied the villain. You've created your map. You've mastered your combat style. Now comes the final battle. And here's the secret. The final battle isn't one glamorous moment. It's the daily, unglamorous, relentless grind. It's choosing to pack your lunch instead of buying it. It's making that extra debt payment when you'd rather buy a new gadget or a new game. It's saying no to a weekend trip so you can say yes to your future. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day and executing the plan. There will be days you feel tired. There will be days you want to quit. But this is the climax of your story. This is where the hero digs deep and remembers what they're really fighting for. With every extra payment, you get stronger. With every debt you cross off the list, your power grows. You are no longer the character cornered by the villain. You are the hero, driving the villain back, one payment at a time. And then, one day it'll happen. You'll make a payment. But this will be different. It will be the last one. You'll hit submit on that final student loan payment. You'll watch the balance for your car loan flip to zero. And in that moment, there will be a deafening silence. The noise of the villain, the stress, the anxiety, the shame that has been your constant companion will all be gone. A weight you didn't even realize you were carrying will lift from your shoulders. You'll breathe, and the air will feel light. This is the victory scene. This is the moment you fought for. You have rewritten your script. The villain is defeated, and you are free. But the story doesn't end there. Defeating debt isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new one you wrote for yourself. The massive snowball payment you were making to your debts doesn't just disappear. It now becomes your tool for building wealth. It's the down payment for your dream home. It's your retirement fund. It's the ability to give generously, to travel, to start a business, to live life on your terms, not the bank's. So, what's the game plan again? It's simple. First, you study the villain, the secured debt dragon, and the unsecured goblin horde. Second, you draw your map with a zero-based budget. Third, you choose your combat style. The motivational debt snowball, or the effective debt avalanche. Fourth, you gather power-ups by increasing your income, cutting expenses, and building a $1,000 starter emergency fund. And finally, you fight. You fight with consistency and intensity until you win. Your comeback story starts now. The script is in your hands.